Hello again everyone, this is Mr. Hoy. In this video I'm going to be talking about the degree of a polynomial. So we're going to start with the degree 0 terms, also referred to as constants. The degree of a particular polynomial is the degree of the highest term within that polynomial. So if we're looking at constants, they're only going to be numbers. You're not going to see any variables that have degree 0 because they can't. Essentially, a degree 0 term has 0 variables. So looking at these three examples, obviously you don't see any variables. It's pretty clear they're degree 0. Degree 1 terms have a single variable within them. So even if you're looking at a term like 7x minus 3, the 7x, the x I should say, within the 7x is just to the first power here. That makes this term a degree 1. A degree 1 term, and this term a degree 0 term, which means we say the entire term has a degree of 1. If you have multiple elements within it, so in this case we have a binomial, you take the degree of the highest term within the binomial, so that's a degree 1 term. If the term is a monomial, it's much easier because you only have to focus on the 1. This is 4x to the first, the x is to the first power, making it a first degree or linear polynomial. Now looking at quadratics. Quadratics are going to be to the second power, so we have a 3x squared. This term is obviously to the second power. It makes finding that degree relatively easy. When you're looking at a binomial, again, you focus on the term that has the highest degree. So here we have a second degree term and a 0 degree term, so we say that this particular term has a degree of 2. Now, this last example, it's a little more confusing because we only have one term, this is a monomial, but there are two variables. So what we actually have to do is we have to add the exponents for the variables. Even though they're different variables, we add their exponents and we say this term has a degree of 2. Now, looking at third degree polynomials. Third degree polynomials, you're just looking for terms that have variables to the power of 3. In this question, we have 2x to the third. Obviously, that is to the power of 3. That is a third degree monomial. Now, in this term, this binomial here, I'm going to focus on the first term first. We have an x to the second power and a y to the first power, which means this has a degree of 3. The second term just has a degree of 0, which means the entire term has a degree of 3. With this last monomial, we have 3 different variables. Each of those has a power of 1. We can add those together, and that is also an example of a cubic or third degree monomial. Fourth degrees, or quartics. First example, simple variable to an exponent. That exponent is 4, so it's a fourth degree. A little more confusing here. You've got a binomial, so you've got 2 terms you have to focus on. The second one is obviously a degree 0. It's a constant. But this term right here, you have to add the 3 that's on this x with the 1 that's on this y, getting a fourth degree quartic binomial here. This last example, we add the 1 with the a to the 1 with the b to the 1 with the c to the 1 with the d, getting a total of a fourth degree, and this is one term, this is one monomial, so fourth degree monomial. Last example are quintics, or to the fifth power. Again, we start the first example with a monomial. It's an x in this case to the fifth power. Obviously, it's fifth degree. The most confusing examples tend to be ones like this, where you have multiple variables. It's still a monomial, but we have to add this 3 to this 2 to get a total degree of 5. This last example, we have first degree, first degree, first degree, first degree, and first degree. 5 first degree variables. Combine those to get a fifth degree monomial.